Happy 2021!
Yay!
Who would have thunk we made it this far? We just talk about like the pandemic and how bad 2020 was, and I don't think that 2020 was that bad. It was a bad year, yes. It was collectively a bad year. Absolutely it was. However, there were still good things. So, I have 6 good things, and I'm gonna get ready and talk about these things. So, let's just get started. Gonna start with the base. Use the stick foundation, especially in winter, because these are really greasy, so it hydrates my skin so it won't get as dry. So number 1 is on my list. It's quite a weird one. I get that. It's not a normal thing to be happy about. But I lost my job in 2020. And honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened in 2020. Because that job made me absolutely miserable. I had so much mental health issues because of that job, and I didn't want to quit before I had a new job, and that proved impossible. And yes, I was upset at the time because I lost my entire income. But honestly, it's the best thing that 2020 could have given my mental health. Was losing my job. They had me in a position where I was only a stand-in if they needed me. They brought me from a full position to a time-based position, and with a schedule, and then it was just, we'll call you. And in the beginning, that was fine. In the beginning of 2020, it was fine. I still had somewhat of a schedule. They would call me like quite a bit beforehand and all of that. And as time went on, that didn't happen. They forgot that I hadn't been there for 2 weeks, and I had so much emails in my inbox, my private inbox, and I had to go through them to know what was new, so I could give the customers the best information possible. And I asked, can you compile this when you know you want me to work, so I can have 1 email instead of 20? That didn't happen. There was a lot of times where I just was called in and just sat there for 30 minutes to an hour and didn't know what to do, and in the end they called me in for the wrong day, and when the day came that they actually wanted me there, they didn't call me. So when the time finally came, because I fought these people until the very end. They threatened me with, they threatened me with the union, because basically everyone is involved in a union. So they asked me what union I was so they could negotiate my leaving. And they offered my position before I got fired to a friend of mine that worked there before, and then they asked Lena, and she fought it, and they didn't get any of us. And at the end, this was just a couple of days before the boss was supposed to go on their summer holiday, so they didn't have a stand-in for this summer, even though I told them that I could. Next point on my list, I'm going in with Shade Light from Kat Von D. Best vegan brand for light skin that I can find in the store and actually try on. There isn't a lot of options in the stores because I want cruelty-free, I'm vegan, and I'm pretty pale. I want to try it because I have bought things on the internet before and it didn't work for me, not even in the summer. It was really dark, so I had to give it to my mother because she is a lot darker than me. Anywho, number 2 is kind of connected to the first one. It's anxiety. And at first glance, no, it's not a positive, and it's not a positive to live with. I can tell you that. But the thing is, if it weren't for my anxiety getting this bad, like keeping me up at night, insomnia bad, anxiety attacks bad, then I wouldn't seek help for it, which I did like 3 days before 2020 ended. I contacted my doctor and I was like, I kind of need help. And honestly, I also wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for a very, very close friend of mine who did it. And honestly, I should have done it like years ago, but constant procrastinator and never really wanting to deal with their mental health. That's me. Baking with Set It Up from W7. I do a lot of budget brands, but honestly, I love W7. They are either a big hit or a big miss. Actually doing something for my mental health, that's something really good in my opinion. And I do encourage everyone to actually go talk to someone because everyone needs it and everyone needs a different perspective on things. And when you don't want a different perspective on things, you vote for Donald Trump. Number 3, obvious one, I moved. That's a very obvious positive. And I'm not going into very much detail. I'm gonna just say that the family relations that was present before we moved wasn't very good. And then we moved and that part just disappeared completely. It have lifted a lot of moods and lowered a lot of moods, but in the end, because the thing is, we were kind of cooped up in there. We were kind of cooped up in the country. Like, since I didn't have a job, I didn't go anywhere except when we were grocery shopping, and that kind of fucked me up for a bit because nobody wants to be cooped up out on the countryside like that. Also, really bad internet. Like, Bella's really excited to be in the city, so it's just the fact that I can forget an ingredient and it won't be a big deal. Just that fact is amazing. But like, everyone who has ever moved in their entire life, it's quite stressful. I accidentally threw out basically all of Jack's clothes and half of my wardrobe So we have no clothes now. It was a total accident, and I realized it while on, like, I was talking on Discord with Lena, and all of a sudden I just realized that I was missing a bag, and the panic that didn't help the anxiety. If anyone's wondering. But my lovely, lovely friend Japs, we have known each other for almost 10 years. He picked me up and we went to see if we could if we can check in the containers of the garbage station, because we knew where we had thrown everything away. But alas, we even got to look through the big dump here in town. But what can you do? Like, it absolutely sucks. I lost some really good shirts, but it's still just possessions. We did save a bag of trash though. So if anyone wants a bag of trash, it's still here. We haven't thrown it away because we are lazy. I'm gonna work on my eyeshadow and I will be right back. Okay, so for the eyeshadow, to just make it simple, I used these 3 colors. Number 1 on the lid, number 2 on the crease, number 3 also on the crease. So there you go. Number 3, Una's Honest. Honestly, it was pretty great, and they did a lot for me in 2020 because they gave me something to look forward to, because I really enjoyed the content, and overall I was just really sad they left. Like, I get that was the whole concept, and that was kind of the point, and it was moving in that direction. It was still sad, okay? It's still very sad, and I'm still very sad. I'm very sad about it. Very sad about it. But they aren't the complete reason why I do this. They are somewhat the reason. Because the thing is, I have always wanted to play around in digital media on my own. I wouldn't say like a dream, but it was something that I thought I would enjoy. And I have thought about it for years. Like, quite literally. I can't talk right now. What's happening? I can't talk right now. I'm doing hot girl shit. But you know, I've never done it because it scared me putting my face out there on the internet for people to like judge, you know, having to learn to edit. It was quite scary. Or it is scary. It's still scary. Because I'm not the best at editing, and I'm very well aware of that. But I'm learning, and I want to learn. That's the most important part. But you know, it took some getting used to doing the whole looking at my face for hours on end and listening to my own voice for hours on end, and like coming up with ideas that people might find funny or interesting or entertaining or whatever, making people want to click on my videos and get those views. It's hard, and it's very scary because you kind of put yourself out there every time that you do it. And you never know what's gonna happen. You hope for the best, and that's all you can do. But Unazanis was like preaching basically every video that, you know, just do it, because you have nothing to lose, and that is exactly right. I did not have anything to lose, and especially in this pandemic where I didn't have a job either. So I was just bored in my house, and I'm in the house bored basically every day. I reversed my brow for this one, and I'm using Roxy Purple and Kat Von D's pomade and NYX Ultimate Edit Petite Palette for the green. And the thing with Unazanis is that I have never been so excited and so saddened by a goodbye from an internet personality. Mark and Ethan just have the best chemistry out there. That's just fact. And it was sad to see them go. And I know it's not the end. They're still friends, so they might pop into each other's channels. But it's sad not to get to see them together on a regular basis. But I did learn a lot from them, and just doing it and looking forward and keep chugging and do the best that you can, because that's the only thing that you can do, is just do the best that you can. Learn a little something new and do even better, and every time you do your best, you are getting better. That's just fact. So, Proline felt tip liner from Wet n Wild, and Max Volume waterproof Max Volume Plus from Wet n Wild. Now, before anyone says anything, I am very well aware that Wet n Wild aren't technically cruelty free, because they do sell their products in China, and that means that they have to get their products tested on animals by the government. I'm well aware of that, and I'm disappointed. However, I don't want to go to 5 different stores to get my things. When it comes to makeup, I want to buy it myself in person. So I know that the product is good, I know that the packaging is good, I know it's sanitized, whatever. But I don't want to do store shopping more than I need to, so I can find this at the grocery store. So it's a one go. I don't have to move more than I have to. So that's the reason for what the Wet n Wild. I usually don't use them, but in a pinch, what do you do? Number 5, TikTok. It's not a new thing, it's not a 2020 thing. However, 2020 played a big role in 2020. Because during the whole Black Lives Matter movement, which is still a thing, don't forget that Black lives still matter, because they do, and they will forever do so. So, it unified people in a way that I haven't seen online, because people didn't want to go out, people want to demonstrate in their own way. That's fine, but TikTok unified people. It also unified people against Trump, because people got together and reserved tickets for Trump's shit and fucked it up for him, which is also always good. But TikTok, in my opinion, is the easiest way to find creators. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you do. I think it's so much easier than on YouTube, because a lot of the times people just scroll through TikTok and, that's that. you find a lot of new people. I have one more point, which I'm gonna try to do while I do my lips. The channel. Quite obvious, isn't it? But it gave me something to work for. This channel gave me something to work for. To better, to learn. It gave me somewhat of a focus during 2020, and I look absolutely ridiculous with that lipstick on. And I will be forever grateful for my channel and those 13 people that subscribed in 2020. I don't know all of you, but I love you all the same. It's been a lot of just hustle to get things done. And that's not the way to do it in 2021. So I'm gonna do a lot more preparations, especially for Spooktober. I am not deciding 5 days before that I'm gonna do a video a day and having nothing prepared. I'm not gonna do that this year. No, ain't happening. Although I do hope that we have the opportunity to leave the house for October. Not doing it, but like during the spooky month, I would like to go to like a haunted house or haunted house. Everyone on this earth, it's our responsibility to make sure that 2021 will be a better year. That said, don't let the vaccine become this miracle thing, because it won't. Okay? Just because we have a vaccine does not mean that it is over. We still need to wash our hands. We might not have to use masks, but we have to wash our hands. This is my get ready with me to stay at home. Thank you for watching. I know that this is a long one, and I just felt like sitting down, doing some makeup and talking about 2020 because no one else is. But thank you to my 13 subscribers for subscribing in 2020, and I hope I'm interesting enough for you to stay on in 2021. So, that said, Black Lives Still Matter, vaccine is not a miracle, climate change is real. Bye!